Alrighty. Hello everyone and welcome back to my reaction to Mystery of Erebos, the Dragon Prince. I am genuinely hyped to see how well Viren's manipulation is going to go. Considering that he's using a personal story, I am assuming that the queen dies and I'm assuming that the girl loses both her parents in this particular fight. If she does, then I don't know how well that manipulation might go. It still has chances of it hitting because the Magma Titan essentially got CPR and resurrection while they were trying to rescue the heart. I am assuming that obviously that was a successful mission. It saved both the kingdoms, but at a very grave cost. I am hoping that the girl doesn't give in and stand strong in terms of not sending people off to war. Let's see where it goes from here. I'm really excited though. The show is going darker as time goes on. There is a lot of potential for it, and I am hyped to see that potential unravel. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go. He literally drew you in the sand, okay? I reckon he did not need that space at that point in time. I honestly forgot. Callum finally opened the seal for the letter and is going to read it now. Ooh, let's see what dark war crimes are we going to learn here in this particular letter. It would be cool if he made Callum the regent though. It would be really cool if he did that.
Now I wonder if I should have held you closer.
Yes, we can save them all.
I loved the trust and the fun cooperation between Sarai and Amaya. It was really cool to see. But if they didn't die here, I am assuming that, like I was thinking in the previous episode, Thunder was the one who got to them and got rid of both the queens, or well, all three of the queens. And that's why Harrow was like, how could you get rid of my wife when I was trying to steal something from your kingdom? How could you get rid of the trespassers? I'm gonna come to your kingdom and kill you. Da-da-da, something along those lines. Whatever. But I'm assuming that's what is going to happen now.
You did it! Sister?
Time is short. There's barely an hour until sunrise. We can't risk the wrath of the Dragon King.
Is he gonna say that you need to leave Amaya behind or something like that?
The wounded must be left behind.
He did. That's where Sarai is gonna get pissed off and fight him. And this fight is going to lead to a delay. And that's why he said, I was not the king's closest advisor. If the king would have listened to me, your parents would have been alive. Blah, 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 is what I am assuming.
You don't need to whisper, Viren. I'm deaf.
Lamon, not Amaya being like, I'm deaf, you don't need to whisper, Viren.
It'll be okay. Once I rest a bit, I can make it back by myself. I'll stay with...
Oof. I love this because it gives us the perspective of the fact that there were times when Harrow made really drastic and quick decisions, like wanting to help the kingdom without really thinking it through. And then there were times when Viren was too logical. So it's the balance of it all, okay, or well, the imbalance of it all, where sometimes Harrow was too emotional and Viren was too logical. And so there was never a middle ground. If we were to look at it from an outsider's perspective, it would make sense that someone who's too emotional and someone who's too logical come together to create like a really balanced decision, but they don't. They allow the other person to take over completely. And like obviously the conversation of power comes into play, that Viren was at the end of the day a servant, and so oftentimes it would always end up being Harrow's decision of being too emotional and moving forward from a very emotional mind space, which is why Viren started to make decisions in the dark of the night, like hiding away the dragon egg and telling the king that the dragon egg is destroyed instead of actually destroying it. Like, he started to be logical in secret because Harrow would not listen to him and was always too emotional. Layers, man. I like that.
I'm a crazy old man, but let me share some wisdom, will you?
Oh, why not? I love wisdom. Bring it.
I'm assuming that she's assuming it's the same kind of wisdom that Lugene passed on, but I am hoping that he actually has pretty good wisdom for her. That would be fun to see. Let's not disappoint kids, and make them think that the only people they can trust is themselves, because adults are useless. Yo, that is genuinely good advice. You guys have zero idea how much learning this helped me. I was a super overthinker, okay? But the moment I realized that I can't see too far into the future, so thinking about the future is like useless and a waste of time and energy. Instead, think about like 2 or 3 steps ahead and then focus on what I can control, what I can do, and then work on myself to ensure that wherever it goes, I am all right. Changed my life. Such a good advice. Oh, I loved it.
But what you said is beautiful. Stop! This is our day to sacrifice.
Yeah, right. I don't know why, but that felt like something Viren added to the story. Like, I'm not saying that the queens are like, cowards or they didn't try to hold the dragon off or whatever. There is a really high chance that they did, but felt weird. It felt like something Viren added just to make it seem like, people should have listened to me. Everything would have been fine if everyone listened to me and stuff like that. We would have only lost the wounded, not the really healthy people, blah, blah, blah.
For Anya!
I wish that the queens ran instead of trying to kill Thunder. Like, there was no reason to kill Thunder. I feel like they could have got enough distance between them and the dragon if they ran, but they were like, no, we might fight for Anya. Anya wants you alive, brah.
I'll see you on the other side.
Not Sarai being like, hey, you gotta get your boo back. See you on the other side.
But I do know I will be watching over you and your brother, always.
Fun. It's really good storytelling. With the fact that the storytelling is just chaotic enough, like all history and myths are, that you don't know where the truth ends and where the lies begin. Ooh. I do hope Caleb eventually, or essentially by the end of this episode, tells Ezran that, hey, Papa's dead. I mean, not like that, but you know what? He at least tells him.
I was there when Queen Sarai took her last breath. Zadia had stolen precious loved ones from us.
Listen, I get it, okay, but you also stole a random dude from their kingdom. So, like, it should have ended there is the conversation, okay? You guys shouldn't have gone back for revenge. But this also tells us the narrative and how the narrative is being shifted. It was not, oh, we went and stole something from Zadia and the king protected his kingdom and took revenge for his fallen citizen. It was more like Zadia stole something from us, something precious, our loved ones, blah blah blah. Like, the accountability fell through immediately. Caleb was about to say the exact same thing to Ezran when he was trying to tell him that, hey, our dad's dead. You know what though? Once again, it's because I don't trust Viren too much. But why do I have a feeling that he mercy killed Sarai? He either mercy killed her or like killed her. I don't know. I might be so wrong. And this Viren hate is going to be the thing that brings my channel to an end. But I don't know. King to be like, okay, you know what? This is depressing. He's going to receive it in a very depressing scenario. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell him that the pet that we have loves belly rubs. Good father.
No, I just love you.
Well, I love you too.
I smell land.
Hey, what was that? A shadow.
You are an elf who is from Zadia. I reckon that was the petrol or that was a dragon or something along those lines. How do you not know the secrets of Zadia?
There's something up there.
Based on the shadow we just saw, I reckon that was a dragon. Oh man, I thought that Caleb is going to tell Ezran that, hey, Papa's gone. But he did not. I'm guessing at this point it is going to be a season finale thingy. Could be possible. But it is going pretty great. I am really excited to see what we encounter in the next episode. So without further ado, let's jump into it. But before we do, if you're enjoying my content as much as I enjoyed Anya's decision-making skills in front of emotional manipulation, despite of emotional manipulation, feel free to check out my Patreon, where you get early access as well as extended cuts of the content that I put on YouTube. Plus, you get to cheer me on and support me so that I can keep creating more fun content for you guys to enjoy. Now, let's get on with it, shall we?
River of lava.
Ooh, so they're gonna meet Aunt Maya again. And probably the Sunfire Elf is going to join the party too. And then I can have my gay ship and I can ship them into happily ever after. Sha-la-la-la-la. Maybe, and hear me out on this, maybe you can ask the dragon to give you a lift. all the way to Zadia. I mean, I'm pretty sure you all are thinking, one does not simply fly into Zadia, but maybe they do. Ask for help. Before the dragon thinks that you guys are holding a dragon baby captive and attacks you. Don't want that happening. Corvus is already planning his next route of escape. He's going to be like, I'm a dragon killer. I have been trained in the ancient arts of killing dragons. Let me go and I'll save you all. And the town's people are going to be like, yes, let's do that. Oh, and maybe Viren was not lying about a dragon flying around in the towns of Catullus.
And you haven't shot it down yet.
Well, it hasn't attacked us.
So, it's the enemy. I'm taking command here.
Soren, please, don't start a fight you can't finish.
Okay, weird, but maybe Soren and Corvus? A dumb idiot, but who's not really an idiot, and a smart assassin and tracker. Could be possible. Corvus could be the one who brings Soren back into the side of light. Dun dun dun!
See? Scared it off. Dragon problem solved.
What's it doing here? Why is it attacking that town?
Okay, so I'm confused. It took Rayla and Party over 2 days to cross over by sea, and it was the fastest that they could have reached here. And you're telling me the dragon that we've been seeing flying overhead the town is the same dragon that's attacking Claudia and Soren in the town that they can see from. It might be a bit far away, but you can still see the dragon clearly, and you can see this dragon destroying the town clearly. Like, the distance thingy doesn't make sense, because Claudia and Soren weren't even riding the horses that fast, because they had to keep in mind that Corvus is walking behind them, and so they might have been like, taking their time while they do it. And I know that these kids waited for a day for the storm to pass away, but it was still the fastest route around to reach Zadia, and so how are they that close? Weird. I need to see a map. Never mind. I saw the map. I got confused. Whatever. If I don't find the map and the path that they took before I put this video on, feel free to drop it in the comments, and so we can discuss it there, because right now it's kind of wild.
These people need help. Get as many as you can to safety.
See, that's the thing, okay? If he would have ensured that the people are evacuated before he fired at the dragon in case the dragon retaliates, it would have made so much more sense, but hindsight is 2020,
I think I really meant you're the best.
Do you think Viren came up with that spell after the fight happened and they lost the queens to Thunder? I reckon that was a spell that was really important in bringing down Thunder as well. You know what? I get it. That was really smart decision making, because if you guys get captured now, you won't be able to get across to Zadia and ensure that Zim finds his mom. But no, I mean, good dilemma. I don't know if I could have left her behind. I am hoping, I don't even know why, but I'm hoping that Corvus is the voice of reason here. He's like, why was she roaming the skies though? Like, did something happen? Let's find out. Instead of being like, let's kill her, blah, blah, blah.
How can you possibly remain so cheerful in your dire circumstances?
He's like, help me out here, bruh, because I am depressed. Everything that I've been working my entire life for has gone down the drain. How are you so happy? And then whatever Greg is going to tell him is going to revive his motivation. He's going to connect with the elf across the mirror and do some nonsense that is going to bring about the end of humanity as we know it. And the elf kingdoms.
Protecting that dragon doesn't just feel like the right thing to do. It feels like the right thing for me to do. It's where I'm meant to be. If I don't come back, you and Ezran can get Zim to Zadia.
Well, before you run away, maybe tell them about the secret Moon Shadow Passage. Is this where Aunt Amaya's gonna come back and be the savior of the day? And they're going to meet Rayla in potentially season 3? Whatever, man. The second Claudia was like, we're gonna move it in pieces, I was like, no. Oh, God. Yo, I did not think that he was going to start performing black magic. I thought he was going to steal her book or burn her book down or something. Wild. I hope he stops using it after this point. I don't want him to lean on black magic or dark magic to move forward in life and feel like he's someone important. Find your worth some other way, man. Don't go down that hole. Kiddo, I love you and your smarts, okay? But playing hide and seek with 2 creatures, one of whom is the future prince of the kingdom and is also someone who is currently being hunted down, was not one of your smartest ideas. But it is a kid, so understandable, fair.
I'm so stupid. Hide and seek was a really bad idea. Zim!
Maybe the thing that happened was there were sightings of a little dragon cub, and so dragons were being sent out to like see if there was truth to the rumor or not, and then they find out that that's the dragon prince. Kind of understandable.
The little dragon's coming with me. Please, Mirrodins.
Help me.
Oh my goodness gracious. She now has to make a choice between saving her brother or capturing the dragon prince. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Down when the chips are down. Or when Soren's down.
Soren!
I can't move, Claudia. I can't move.
Ooh, dire consequences to actions you take. Ooh, I mean, I kind of like Soren. He's a weirdo. I mean, kind of like him, but like, oh, that's rough, buddy. There we go, teleportation. Now the question is, do you need to fit inside that bowl for teleportation to be accessible? Or do they need to put it in like a bathtub or something like that to send armies across?
Speak, so I may hear you.
I briefly got Loki vibes from Twilight of the Gods. Ooh. So she essentially invented a telephone system. I mean, it's kind of teleportation and a telephone system. Hey, long distance calls are now accessible.
How long I've waited to hear the sound of another voice. How may I serve you?
So a weirdly genie kind of a situation. I am assuming, I thought it was just imprisoned, but it is a genie kind of a situation. Maybe ask them what are the consequences of any decisions I make. Oh, but this just got crazy. I am here for it. Exciting. Blood magic, ritualistic scenarios, a potentially handicapped soldier, news of the Dragon Prince being alive. A lot of things are happening. I am here for it. And I'm excited to see how they wrap up the season 2 of The Dragon Prince Mystery of Erebos. I genuinely hope that Calum stops diving deeper into the dark magic thingy. Maybe it was just like a one-off, but I am kind of hoping that that was enough and not more. Overall, pretty hype. It is really getting darker. The characters are charactering. There are so many layers to this conversation. I am kind of hoping that Ezran and Anya eventually become friends. I am sensing a potential ship there, but I don't really know. But yeah, you know what? Pretty good overall. I am really hyped for it. Can't wait to see the season finale. So, with that being said, let me know down in the comments below what you thought about these 2 episodes, my reactions and my theories, and I shall see you in the next one. Until then, like, share, subscribe. Bye bye. Take care. Toodaloo.